do this. You can be a roamer.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that right now they actually find what really works for them or that whatever is comfortable enough for them to use. Because the way it's looking right now, Team Liquid Philippines, I wouldn't be so surprised if they decide to prioritize the Harith again for their first pick now that they're in the blue side. Given the Phoveus bans and the Eve bans as well, it's looking like a very likely possibility, but I feel like Twisted Minds could also see that coming.
Yeah, not only that too, but it's again depending on how that first phase goes. There's the Harith ban, by the way. So it's actually TLPH that takes this Harith out. So part of this is, like I was saying, was that gold lane matchup. Being able to go ahead and knowing how well Oheb's going to be guarded and secured by this lineup from TLPH, you want to have that same thing for Outplayed. So with this, Matilda gets taken out first pick, probably leaning towards jungle pickup.
I'm thinking if it's going to be a jungler or the
like
Luyi is available too.
Oh, that too.
Like I think it's a mid laner that doesn't get available often. So
there it is.
There they get it. Now Twisted Minds has the option of picking the jungler they like.
And Granger.
And the Granger's there. But just having the Luyi, and I always think about this for both those heroes, the Chip and the Luyi, they provide so much like macro options for your team that you can build around that really well. There's also just a whole lot of kind of early damage that comes from this Luyi pick.
And JP used the Chip pretty well.
Exactly.
And the last time we saw him use it. Oh, but they go for the Gatot Kacha instead.
Oh, Suyo.
And the Suyo. So is it going to be the Granger immediately picked up here for Team Liquid Philippines? That seems possible. Alongside that, they probably... Hold on. That's the Granger, okay. And they will be getting the Joy, so they won't get limited in terms of options anymore. Okay. Does Hajizi decide to get a hero here?
How often you get a Luyi, Granger, and Joy together?
No, not often.
This is... I can't remember the last time we've seen
when I see
all
this,
three.
I think of Big Damn. Like, there's so much early game damage here, too.
It's all core. This is the planking of drafts.
It is.
This seems so hard to fight up against. I mean, they have the Suyo in terms of objectives. They probably can be a little bit more confident. Oh, but they go for the Moskov instead of the Irithel. At least they also have some sort of global presence to match with the Luyi on the other side, and they limit the additional global presence that they could potentially use by taking out the Chip as well. But for Twisted Minds, they're still lacking a mid laner and an XP laner, so there's the potentially taken out. For Hajizi, I'm wondering if they're ever going to consider the Fire Mist. It's a nice answer to the Luyi, the potential diversion plays, and I think it could help Outplayed a lot if they want to play around him later on.
Yeah, they're going to want to play around Outplayed, but like part of that equation is really just making sure that he doesn't have a bad early game. That he's not just trying to basically survive the whole time. Because, like Leo mentioned, these first three picks too, you can just dive under a turret pretty well, or at least use the diversion to your advantage in a lot of your choices on getting to those side lanes if you want.
Hold up.
That's Perks.
This young man looks familiar.
Wait, is he Perks?
That is Perks.
That is Perks.
That's a former teammate of both Oheb and Haji.
Wow. So we got all of them together right here. I think I've seen a lot more other familiar faces and supporters. Oh, I see another one.
That's another familiar face.
I see another one. Oh, they go for a Selena. I mean, same concept as the Navaria, which was previously banned out.
After that patch, it was Selena that helped usher in Gatot Kacha once more to the meta. So their slows and their stuns helped each other find big wins in fights. So I understand where Twisted Mind's coming from.
The Abyssal AOG.
Yeah.
They just keep throwing their skills towards their opponents. So for Team Liquid Philippines, they're still looking for an XP laner. I'm wondering if they're going to pick up the CC.
Yeah, but you don't know still what you're facing off against.
Yeah, but that's the problem.
They protected James' hero very well compared to when they debuted in day one. They were all like, Hilda again.
Hilda.
Yeah, the Lucas is there too. Oh, it's a Cho for
Cho
JP
and Hilda.
and the Hilda.
It's a flex!
It's a flex.
Well, I think safer than any other XP laner that could possibly come out there. So James secures the Lucas instead for themselves. Okay, this is looking pretty aggressive.
The Lucas wins against the Hilda. So they're saying, Daddy JP, you better make the call now. Because either way they lose. You put the Hilda in the Roam,
Yeah.
that's less than ideal. You put the Hilda in the XP, loses to the Lucas.
Yep. I don't know. I think, yeah, I just think Twisted Minds, like, this is kind of what they needed. I know the lineup's interesting here to see how they execute it, though. But, again, I almost just expect them, even if there's some glimpse of experimentation with this, like, just it's in a way for them to make things up from their first match of the week, but also bring something like this to the table and see if it works out. Again, with Hajizi being the one to play the Selena, who is also a prominent Selena player, even in the past. If he's able to land those marks, or even just give vision with the traps.
Welcome to Mobile Legends.
So, we'll see if they execute it. We're going to be jumping into this game, the Land of Dawn. It's a best of 3. Last match for week 1. Has Twisted Minds learned from day 1, or will TLPH stampede over after a dominant win yesterday? That's what we're going to find out.
Yep, our Team Liquid Philippines going to fight them head on, knowing their capabilities this early, or will they be a little bit more avoidant? Because it seems like, as mentioned, Sensui forces JP to recall less than a minute into this game.
Okay, so he gets out of here again, just fighting for those early rotations right now.
What I tell ya?
That's what you mentioned.
I think this is just Sanford saying, you know what, guys, let me, oh my lord! Just as we turn the camera,
Is that an arrow?
MP draws first blood on Sanji. That poor young man.
Oh, this is so hard for Team Liquid Philippines. JP was forced to recall early on, and they get an immediate pick-off towards Sanji. So we're probably expecting the faster rotating team to be none other than Twisted Minds, and that's not just about their mid-lane duos. It's also in terms of their XP laners being able to get out of their lanes, because as we're seeing it right now, this isn't the same kind of hill that we've seen from Flap earlier. The matchup doesn't favor Team Liquid Philippines this time.
Yeah, interesting too for Lucas here. Running that the tanky set, but has a lot of, he's got the Brave Smite, even a little that Festival of Blood. So the trading that he can do against the Hilda, like I would assume that Lucas doesn't even need to go home for the most part, and he's going to win that matchup anyway. So once he also gets it, once you get that level 4, James is able to provide a lot here for the team alongside Sensui. So they'll keep Sanford kind of at bay. They're waiting for this turtle to come up here. JP is just around the corner too. Whoa, they're gonna have to fight this, Sanford.
Twisted Minds collapsing down onto the turtle. And look at that, a diversion set up. Can Sanji send one over? MP the King takes the turtle. Maybe 2 seconds too late for Team Liquid PH. That's a false rotation.
Yep, they were too quick to take control of the turtle, make sure that no other member could immediately just go in, and they bursted it down knowing that Sanford was yet to get his level 4 and that they had enough information about the other members too. The diversion was a bit too late, you've also mentioned it. So now we're waiting for Team Liquid Philippines to look for an opening, to look for a trade, because as we're seeing it right now, all across the map, probably apart from the goal lane because it hasn't been touched just yet, Twisted Minds are gaining full control.
Yeah, and even looking at this again, for TLPH, that opening for them really was when you had these level 4s available for the Louis, for JP on the Cho. You needed to be able to go ahead and utilize those ultimates to get your setups, and JP, once he has that, you can expect him to utilize the flicker there to try to set things up. But so far, just kind of playing safe because they know, like, this is it's a mini game in itself, early game, dodging these arrows coming out from Hajizi.
They're looking like they're going to collapse on the MP. MP reads into the situation, and here comes the rest of the cavalry. James going 3v1, unleash the beast. MP bites it, though, but that's before Sanji clips him. 2 for none so far, the trade. Hajizi getting out of here. SOD misses by an inch.
Oh, JP.
That was so close for JP right there. And even despite the vengeance and that sustain, again, the emblems, they were very, very tanky here for James. And he was close to out-sustaining those 3 members. But even then, fortunately, the numbers were in favor of Team Liquid Philippines. But wait!
AOG stationarily as JP looks to punish Hajizi. Behind this Y brush on the wrong side of the map. Way of the Dragon pins him down. Sanford gets the kill. Now James and Sensui can only watch.
Can only watch for now. Good responses, though. I mean, from both sides, really trying to make things work. Turtle's coming up, though. A couple seconds. Sanford and James just kind of going at it. Whoa. A lot of early damage.
Oh, 40's dealing some decent damage here.
Yeah.
I wonder what kit he's holding right now because he also has a level gap up.
Yeah.
He's able to sustain the damage from James and equally give him the same, but there's a diversion play that could possibly happen.
Turtle currently at half health. Haji throws an arrow over to it, looking for some CC here, unleashing the beast. James looking to rid TLPH of its backline advantage. Now James might fall here. They collapse onto him, still survives, using that vengeance. Shockwave blast point blank into the rest of TLPH. The cavalry does not push forward.
It's surprising to see how Team Liquid Philippines is able to maintain this level of sustain, even up against this lineup with a Lucas, even up against this lineup with a Selena. It seems like they're just okay with fighting them head on so long as they're together. And it's been working for Team Liquid Philippines so far. Now we're seeing an advantage even in those lanes which earlier seemed that were under control by Twisted Minds.
I guess that was our answer there, too. You know, Starlium Cyphus picked up now Carl Teasy, but Sanford earlier on when he was trading had the Fury Hammer, so that's just enough of little additive damage and penetration to help go 1v1 against James for now. Looking to take this turret down. They can't grab it just yet.
Look at this diversion by Sanji into the back, setting something nefarious up. And MP the King in the vicinity. Not spotted just yet. It's the other bush, the other bush! Oh, they kick him out.
They kick him out. But they want the purple, man. They want to put pressure there. But look, meanwhile, the pressure up top on that tier 1.
That's a chubby wave Carl Teasy ushered in.
That's a turret down.
It actually feels like Team Liquid Philippines, they're just trying to zone and not entirely commit against Twisted Minds.
Oh! James caught here. The flicker committed by JP. No kick just yet. Holding on to that way of the Dragon to conceal. Might go for it one more time. AOG. No one home. Sensui catches a few of the yin and yang, the blasts from Sanji, as Sanford here bothers MP.
This feels like, I mean, it really does feel like the cavalry right now because they're everywhere. They're spread out literally everywhere.
They are legion.
It's the cavalry, but at the same time, they're really controlled and disciplined. At the same time, it's not like they just keep going at each other. They don't just want to go for the kills.
Yeah.
They just take the necessary space, the control, and so long as they get what they need, they don't engage in a team fight any further. That's just how disciplined they're playing this game against Twisted Minds.
Again, this is a showcase of how much synergy this team has in a version once again, but they're going up top. Not sure if they get there in time. Yep. So Outplayed gets out of there.
Oh, they smelled something. They knew someone was hiding in the bush, but Outplayed gets the recall just in time.
And look at this Oheb. Oheb is just farmed up.
Yep. That's
1.8 ahead.
1.8 ahead, also has the Sky Piercer already, so by the time they're able to include him in either of those diversion plays or when they become confident enough to really engage against Twisted Minds, that'll be a lot more problems that Twisted Minds will have to think of. Their lineup, which naturally should be able to just fight these members head on, doesn't even working!
Oheb catches one! And he is behind enemy lines. Does flicker through the AOG attempt by Sensui. And the rest of the cavalry come to his rescue. Almost sure death.
I mean, he was up there. I saw him knocking on that tier 2. SOD goes up. Now Sanford, okay, he's going to be fine. Gets out. But man, these arrows, like Oheb was able to flicker, dodge the arrow too, and now they continue to put pressure.
Carl Teasy catches one onto MP. Does not commit fully. Their eyes on the turret, tier 2. Twisted Minds got to defend successfully.
Yep, they got to be careful. JP already has his flicker too, but the rest of TLPH aren't really alongside them anymore. Twisted Minds might want to go for Sanford, but still, he's too tanky and they know their capabilities at this point. They're not that afraid.
Oh, look at this once again. Setups around for JP and Sanji, just kind of planning themselves here. They know the Lord's going to come up in 15 seconds, so they can fight for the positioning in favor for them. They want to let Oheb just keep farming up. You said it earlier, as soon as Oheb does decide to join some of these fights, he's going to be popping off a ton of damage already. So gets a couple shots on that tier 2. They ultimately will clear those waves, but now it's perfect for TLPH to have that positioning in favor for this Lord. I'm not sure if Twisted Minds really wants to go ahead and contest this first one.
Yeah.
I mean, all these small things happening, they find themselves 5,000 gold behind. There's a push up top, outplayed, and Sanford.
Yeah.
All right,
Oh.
point blank SOD. Sanford catches it with much joy. In comes Carl Tizzi, talking about joy. Here comes one, outplayed, gets bopped.
Even if he didn't get full stacks, it didn't matter. That was all he needed to kill an isolated, outplayed, an isolated Moscow.
Wow! Way of the dragon onto MP. He won't survive, not for long. The Filipino sniper catches him despite Sensui trying to save with the AOG.
Do you just go in? Even with that clutch abyssal arrow last minute, there's only so much Twisted Minds can do. And all that TLPH was able to accomplish right before securing the Lord, and they might not just be done yet. Okay, they just went up top to clear some lanes.
Oh my God.
It just feels like the timings on everything right now are like on point.
Liquid is moving at ×2.
They are Liquid.
Try watching a video on YouTube at ×2 and then compare that to Twisted Minds, who's figuring out how YouTube works.
It's crazy.
Seemingly catching up to everything Liquid's putting down.
Yeah, not even Sensui right now. I feel like there are always second thoughts on whether or not it's the perfect time to use the AOG, because Team Liquid Philippines, the way it looks is like they can just decide to go in and out and not fully commit, and just whenever they're ready, decide to go for the fight. And that's how it feels right now. They're just being very disciplined once again. They have the Lord in their hands, so there's nothing to rush. Outplayed is still way behind in terms of gold against OHIB.
Everything right now is synced up perfectly for TLPH as they approach now the base. The shields are still up, but can they survive this push-in?
The conceal by JP gets caught up by Sensui. Won't let these shenanigans fly. AOG coming through, caught out, responding to it almost in the blink of an eye. Sensui taken out by OHIB.
He just had to meet the power of foilness again.
James unleashing the beast, SOD. Dodge, sidestep
Sanford.
by 2. And they need one more. Can they catch him? James and Hajizi survive.
Oh, man. He didn't have his ultimate available. That's just keeping him at bay enough. And now the focus here in the mid lane. Gonna have to watch out for the reactions, but they do hold on to the mid and bottom turret for now. So despite it all, Twisted Minds stays in the game. They're still at a massive deficit by 10,000 gold. And it looks like TLPH wants to continue to go ahead and just push into the base if they can before the next objective.
I mean, if we were Twisted Minds, they have some means to disrupt. If they get to deny one play from Team Liquid Philippines, one unsuccessful engage from JP, that could already mean a lot if they're able to negate that. But that's not where all the problems end for Team Liquid Philippines. Even when Twisted Minds decides to go in, they have to be wary of the AOE coming in from Sanji, even just as Hajizi. At this point, he could be an easy target for Team Liquid Philippines. Just go in front of OHIB for a while and you'd suddenly disappear at this point with that. With even just those 2 kills, you have to take note that he's leading in goal. He's 10K. He probably only lacks, the way it's looking, only 1 core or 2 items.
Daddy JP coming in, starting to fight. Twisted wasn't ready for. 2 quick kills traded out for the patriarch of Team Liquid Philippines as they threaten once more this mid lane tier 3 wave coming through. TLPH gonna get their objective.
Oh, right now they're gonna push it in. They're gonna try to defend.
Might be an end angle. James here gets popped. Just 2 defenders left. Liquid looking to stab B through Twisted Minds. It's just a matter of time. Team Liquid Philippines with a 1-0.
And TLPH comes in with a momentum, and yes,